Hey you guys, hope you're all doing great. For today's virtual reading, I will be reading Sweet Dreams on page 150. Lately, dreams have been heavenly and reality has been a nightmare. When I close my eyes, I hope it is a one-way ticket rather than a round trip to dreamland. I see your comforting face. You tell me you are no longer ill, that you are free and fine. We play fetch with the dog. We have tea and talk about the universe like old times. You spill out knowledge until you get tired and excuse yourself for bedtime. I open my eyes in our new home, where I can go to mom's room and open your side of the closet. But your things are no longer there. I thought you had come back. So this was an actual dream that I had when my dad passed away. I think it was about a month later. But I've actually started to keep a journal of all the dreams that I have with my dad, as that's the only way I see him now. I actually lost my dad in August 2019. So I wanted to talk about something that's a huge taboo in our culture, which is death and dying and losing a loved one. Not only in our culture, but all over the world. And what inspired me to do this video and read this piece is Vanessa Bryant actually posted something yesterday about the grieving process and how some days you feel like you don't want to be alive and other days you're laughing and playing and you're totally fine. So I actually wanted to talk about my personal experience with grieving. I remember I was told to move on, to get over it, that I should be okay and have moved on by now, and I shouldn't be crying so much, and just being told that there's a timestamp on grieving. And coming from somebody who has personally experienced this, I just want to tell you guys that there is no timestamp. If you've lost someone you love, take your time, do whatever you need to do to be kind to yourself. And for me, that was, and whether you have to find your outlet to cope with such a huge loss in your life. I remember I Googled like meetups or any sort of like discussion groups where there were other people who had lost a loved one who I could talk to and in turn would get me through this painful process. But to my surprise, I actually didn't find anything. So I actually started writing. And I would wake up, and I still do, I would wake up at 5 a.m. every day and write about my dad. And for me, that gave him a place in my everyday life. Even though he's physically no longer here, writing about him every day just made me feel like, it still makes me feel like he's here. He continues to be here every single day. So this one I wrote about, a dream I actually had about my dad. And whether it's writing or talking to somebody or whatever it is, working out, you need to find your outlet to cope with death, and also how we should normalize talking about death, because at some point or another, everyone's going to experience this kind of loss. And because I had lost my grandfather before, I had been through that experience in my life. And of course, the pain was just infinitely more because he was my own father. But I think it's just so important to normalize talking about death and grieving, and knowing once again that there is no timestamp to grieving. I myself for a month didn't reply to anyone's text message or calls unless it was immediate family. And don't apologize for, even if it's 3 years out, 4 years out, take your time. Like, don't apologize for not responding to text messages or answering calls or, doing anything that doesn't make you feel better in dealing with this loss. So if you haven't purchased a cognitive canvas, I do talk probably in a handful of poems, maybe 5 or 6, about death and how I believe that death isn't the end of it. It's actually a continuation of life, and the liberation of the soul is what I say it is. So I truly believe my dad is still here, and I've had so many different signs that the universe brought to me, showing me that my dad is still with me. So if you guys want to read more about it, purchase a cognitive canvas. And also, I wrote an entire section about my dad, and I've been told from a few people who have lost their dads as well that it helped them get through it. So I hope you guys enjoy the read. Thank you so much.